Hello everyone, this is Aegis, and this is going to be a game between our Zerg player, spawning as the blue Zerg, LiquidHayprO, and his opponent is going to be the red Protoss player, ZZayohoPros? But anyways, this is going to be a very epic match. I did preview this game. It is going to be a ZVP on the Shattered Temple. Of course, an adaptation of the Lost Temple. So we're going to see what these two players decide to pull out of their bag of tricks to be able to win these games. Of course, there's also a couple of announcements. We've got the American Pro League, the APL, going to be starting up this summer. Go ahead and check out our website at mocktechcorp.net/APL. We're going to be running a team league all summer long. It's going to be best of fives, team versus team, clan versus clan. You're going to have a bracket and probably 2 seasons squeezed into the summer. Go ahead and check that out. All you need is a team of 3 so you can quickly form that. Registration will last until June 26th. And we'll probably have a couple of kickoff events before that happens. So we're going to be playing 2 seasons this summer, hopefully between 32 and 64 teams. Go ahead and check out our website. We've got detailed rules coming out onto the website. We've also got a list of teams that are currently participating. We have here ZayohoPros. I'm just gonna call him Pros. Gonna be getting a forge up here, so he's not going for any sort of standard. We'll see what he decides to do. There is a hatch coming up from LiquidHayprO. We'll see if this probe is gonna do something over here. The hatch, if it does get cannoned, it could cause some damage. Oh, there's 2 pylons going down that will wall off this back area. It's gonna make it very hard to kill off these 2 pylons. A couple of drones are getting pulled off the line for Haypro right now. He might be forced to cancel this hatch if a cannon does decide to go down. Here comes the drones. Only 2 are gonna be able to hit that right there. So it's gonna take forever for those drones to actually take down this pylon. And there is a cannon coming up. He might be forced to cancel this right now and possibly get a hatch somewhere else or decide to one base it. Pros or ZayohoPros is going to be getting his expansion, I believe. He is racking up a lot of minerals over here. So Haypro is over here with his drone. There's the cannon now ranging down on that hatchery. Is going to be able to get a cancel on that. A drone is watching over here on the high ground, making sure the probe does not sneak out and build pylons on the high ground that could cause a lot of trouble in the Zerg main. There's a spawning pool now finishing up and a hatch coming down at the 12 o'clock position. And it looks like Pros is going to get his Nexus up. He's got his pylon also coming up. Will be able to cannon this expansion as soon as he gets his probe back over there. Looks like Haypro is going to get a couple of Zerglings out in the field. I don't believe he's going to try to take this down with just 4 Zerglings. Looks like he's going to go for some scouting out across this map. So this game has already gotten off to kind of a weird start. Protoss is expanding off of just cannons. Zerg is taking a hatch in the north instead of the natural because there are cannons over there. It looks like we've got a couple of photon cannons getting warped. Oh, just 1 photon cannon and a gateway getting warped in right now. That drone almost went down there. A couple of Zerglings are going to sneak onto the high ground before that cannon completes. Looks like Zayo is going to pull off a couple of probes to be able to defend against those Zerglings. Zerglings are being quite obnoxious. This is going to delay mining time. Looks like Protoss is behind on the mining even though he is ahead in the harvesters. The Zerglings are going to be sneaking around inside the base, making sure that everything is completely normal. Looks like this hatch is now complete. A queen is now also on the way. A queen is on the high ground over here, killing off that pylon and the cannon that is down here. So it looks like he's going to be able to take this hatch very quickly. It's going to be very fast, a 3rd base. So Haypro is going to be way ahead, especially with Protoss. Going to be stuck on 2 bases, not going to be able to get aggressive for quite a long time. He's got more cannons coming down. He's only now getting his cybernetics core. It's already the 6-minute mark. Cybernetics core is not even finished right now. He's mining the gas in his main on both geysers. The Zerglings over here still being really obnoxious. Gonna try to pick off a probe. here or there. There's that last pylon getting nibbled away by those Zerglings. There's still a queen sitting over here, but HaypRO does have an extra one, gonna be doing the vomiting over here. He's got his second base completely saturated and fully mining. His third base will be up shortly. The Zerglings still being obnoxious. Do they have any kills? 0 kills on all of these Zerglings. So not able to pick anything off right now. Looks like Zayo is going to be racking up quite a bit of chrono boost. He's got his cybernetics core now researching. This is a little bit of a poor play here. He's going to be way behind on his warp gate research, especially because he's not spending any of the chrono boost. Looks like the probes are going to do a little bit of zapping action there. That last Zergling is going to try to make it out of here alive. That Stalker will be able to chase it down, especially once it gets to that corner. So Zayo is going to be saturating his natural real soon, while HaypRO actually begins saturating his third already. He's going to be way ahead in terms of the drone count, especially with 10 more drones on the way. There is also the metabolic boost coming out. And we're just going to be seeing some macro right now. Both of the players are just going to start teching a little bit. Additional gas coming up from our Protoss player, and the creep starting to get spread over here. On both sides, actually, the Queen's laying tons of creep tumors, going to try to join together these bases. A couple of drones also getting transferred. There is a probe going to be doing some scouting action over here. Going to get cut off by this Queen. Going to start slapping it away right now. A couple of more Zerglings are on the way. That probe does get taken out. Not going to be able to make it into the main to figure out what's going on. There's also a macro hatchery coming up, so this is very early to have 4 hatches as a Zerg player. It's only the 10-minute mark. Not even, actually. It's the 9-minute and 30-second mark. There's a couple of sentries out on the field now. Going to start working away on these rocks. And more pylons coming up as well. The 4th gas is also on the way. More gateways. There's also pylons going to be able to hide some tech over here, possibly later on in the game. The Zerglings are going to be scouting around on the map. Sentry is going to be taking a very long time to take out these destructible rocks. These Zerglings are going to camp outside of the Protoss base to make sure that nothing moves out unexpectedly. A couple of Zealots spawning in will be able to help them take down those rocks. Weapons level 1 already finishing up. Twilight Council and a Robotics Big our facility coming up right now. Spinecrawler at the front for the Zerg. Probably would like to start nibbling away these rocks so that he can take a 4th base very quickly. Evo chambers are also on the way. Looks like those rocks will be down shortly. Zerglings are going to be doing some scouting action over here. Photon cannons, force fields taking out a couple of Zerglings over there. Destructible rocks, so 300 HP left will be going down. The vomiting going on at both of these hatcheries. More roaches going to be popping out right now. Looks like the tunneling claws, glial reconstitution, burrow all finishing up at exactly the same time. Missile attacks level 1 on the way, as well as the ground carapace. So Zerg is going to be a very good position, especially with all of these upgrades. Protoss only now finishing up the robotics facility, as well as getting another gateway. More pylons going in the back. Looks like Zayo has been supply blocking himself. Going to be grabbing his Nexus at the 3rd base right now in the backside. Azella is going to be moving forward, going to do some scouting action. Going to get spat on by all of these roaches. Going to get taken out shortly. Going to get poked in the eye also. Very sad death for that Zealot. The creep tumors are spreading to connect those bases right now. Looks like Zayo is going to back up right now. Does not want to face those burrow roaches in battle. So there's going to be Observer coming out as well, finishing up a 5th gateway. Blink is on the way, as well as that Nexus is about halfway done. Looks like we got a Dark Shrine. It's actually going to be walling off this front. Very interesting wall with a Dark Shrine. Of course, the actual wall is over here, but if this ever gets broken, that is the wall over here, ladies and gentlemen. With 1,000 HP, very small building actually. Zerglings are going to be nibbling away at these destructible rocks over here, going to be opening up this attack path, as well as opening up a path for Protoss to easily take a 4th base. Looks like Stalkers are going to reinforce this position. Protoss does not want this to get broken right now. Pylons over here at this expansion. Going to be able to spot for that expansion coming up. HaypRO getting a very quick 4th base. I'd like to see him even take the gold base, nibble those rocks away with the roaches, and take out the rocks so that he can secure his 6th base very easily as well. Looks like the roaches are going to be backing over here to take those rocks out. And it looks like the weapons, or no, armor's level 1 is also on the way. Ventral sacks on the way for those overlords. Banelings are going to get produced, as well as more roaches. Another hatch is on the way. So Haypro is in a very good position right now. He may even get a fast hive tech up. He's got the infestation pit finishing up right now. The melee attacks, the level 1 still churning out the Protoss weapons level 2. A huge macro game right now. Everyone's just teching up. No major confrontations as of yet. The armor is about halfway complete. Zayo is not actually spending his chrono boost that well on all of his Nexi. He does have all of them hotkeyed though, so we'll be able to produce probes relatively constantly. Also saving up the chrono boost at this nexus. He needs to get those onto those upgrades so that he can get those out even faster. There's the chrono boost going down. Zerg is piling up a lot of money, reaching a nearly max. He's got these overlords full of banelings, so if the Protoss does decide to attack, he can drop them all over the Protoss army. The creep threat is starting to move across the entire map. There is a Dark Templar over here, but there are Spore Crawlers in position, as well as the Spine Crawlers will be able to deny any sort of attack. So it looks like the gold rocks are also going down for LiquidHayprO. Still not quite taking an expansion over here, not taking out the destructible rocks, just kind of doing a little bit of damage. Looks like Protoss is gearing up to take the gold base for himself. We'll be able to produce a lot more production facilities. Finishing up the armor +1 is we're prepared to get both the +2 armor as well as the +3 attack real soon. Looks like the gold base is coming up right now. Zerg still not quite taking these bases for himself, finally shooting down these rocks. We'll be able to get those bases up real soon. Protoss is now moving into the center of the map. No Colossus in this army, quite surprisingly. No Colossus Den. It's just this one Immortal from that robotics facility. So going to be taking out a couple of creep tumors, going to deny the creep threat for a little time longer. There is the Zerg army now advancing forward. The Banelings leading the charge. Force fields going down, but the Banelings are loaded inside those overlords. Blink being used to get back out of there. The sentries are in grave danger. Will he be able to get those Banelings down? Looks like the Banelings are dropping out of the sky. All of the Stalkers getting major hits, but not taking out that, or no, a lot of Stalkers going down. But the Zerg army has also been annihilated. Looks like Zayo has held this attack off. He's got all of these speed overlords that may get taken down. Will get supply blocked if he loses all of those overlords. There's a supply block. The Stalkers chasing them all down. The gold base is about to finishing. A couple of overlords getting away with their lives over here. He's going to be able to produce a lot more overlords now. Centrifugal hooks on the way. Melee attacks level 1, level 2 on the way, as well as the adrenal glands. So cracklings will be out on the field real soon. Roaches and infestors now moving forward. A couple of Zerglings are going to be leading the charge. Gold base has not started mining yet. He may be able to take this out. Looks like the Protoss army is going to be advancing forward. Nice force fields, actually. A couple of Gax going down on with the infestors, going to prevent those Stalkers from blinking forward. Looks like this Nexus will be saved by those Zealots. A Roach being left behind, going to get pulled back by Haypro. Haypro over here now taking the gold base as well as his backside expansion all at the same time. There's a pylon over here that he has not spotted yet. He's got the infestors out in the field. This is a very strong combination against those blink stalkers. The Banelings will be able to do tons of damage. More sentries getting spawned right now. The +2 armor is finishing up, as well as the +3 ground attack. We'll see him probably pick up the +3 as well as some of those plasma shield upgrades real soon. Gold base is now going to start mining. A couple of photon cannons will be going down to guard that. He's even got the Templar archives out, still producing immortals. No Colossus in this game. Very interesting play by Zayo. He's got his army now moving across the map. Now 2 immortals in that army, going to be advancing into the center. He does have full map control right now. He's got an observer watching over this army. There are burrowed roaches over here as well, going to be unburrowing them. This guy not so lucky to have full health after that one. So we'll see when Protoss decides to take this base. There is a Zergling spotting for the possibility of that base. 2 High Templars getting warped in over here. Another Immortal Crab joining the fray, going to be moving forward. Looks like the Zealots and Immortals are sort of in the middle. Going to use this chance to pick off a couple more creep tumors. Those Stalkers are not paying attention. Feedback's going down on those infestors. Going to take a couple of those out. Force fields going down. Looks like the Banelings Bombers are going to be moving forward. It looks like the Banes are falling out of those Overlords. Nice spread by Zayo. It looks like the force fields are actually great enough to hold off those roaches. Looks like Zayo holds this attack off. He's got his Blink Stalkers going to be taking out a couple of Overlords over here. That one Infestor not quite being able to get into the battle fray early enough to throw down enough fungal growths to keep that army together, clumped up. It looks like Zayo is actually coming out a little bit ahead despite Haypro's bunch of bases over here. Of course, Haypro from Team Liquid. Go ahead and check them out at teamliquid.net. And there are now Ultralisks out in the field. Looks like Ground Carapace level 3 on the way. Gonna make those Ultralisks basically invincible. The Archons are also joining the fray. Looks like the melee attacks level 3 also going down. More drones getting produced right now. Let's take a look at the income tab. We've got 80 Harvesters for Protoss, 91 for Zerg. So he may actually want to lay off on those Harvesters for some time, or else his army will be too small. We'll take a look at the army supply. Protoss is ahead in terms of army supply, but Zerg is ahead in terms of worker supply. So Protoss is now getting Psionic Storm. He's got more Immortals coming out on the field, more Nexus coming up for Zayo right now. We'll see what kind of tactics Haypro decides to use. Here comes the feedback on all of the Infestors. The Ultralists now moving forward. The Blink Stalkers will be able to blink back to allow these Zealots to take the brunt of the damage. All of these Ultralists moving forward, actually getting taken out here. The Immortals dealing tons of damage. Only one Ultralist left. That is going to get cleaned up nice and easy. Protoss is ahead now. Definitively, he's killed off huge armies from Zerg, and Haypro has got to have a different response to this. He's maybe going to be going for some of those Broodlords. He does have the Hive Tech out. Does he have the Greater Spire? Yes, he does. He's researching the Flyer Carapace level 1, so he is going for those Broodlords. If he can get those out on the field, will do tons of damage against those Blink Stalkers, especially if he can get them out in large enough numbers. 2 Corruptors getting caught out of position. Broodlords now on the way. Looks like Protoss is advancing over here. Going to be taking out a bunch of Zerglings. Looks like the Banelings have just finished. Force fields going down. A fungal growth as well. Gonna be taking out this. No, not taking this out quite as easily as he probably could have. 24 minutes on the game clock. More Immortals moving forward. Looks like Broodlords have hatched, but they are right underneath those Blink Stalkers. More Zerglings now flooding in. It's going to be able to clean this up nice and easy. Those Immortals are very, very bad against it. Those Zerglings going to get cleaned up right now. And even one Broodlord surviving that confrontation. There's still a Stalker over here. And looks like an advance forward with the Zerglings going to be blinking back with those Stalkers, going to prevent them from all dying right now. This expansion is in grave danger. All of those Zerglings now advancing forward, but the warp in from Zayo is going to be able to save that expansion, especially with his main army now backing that up. More Templar are going to be spawning over here. What other tech might he be going for? He's got about 2 bases mining now. This Nexus is not going to go down despite the focus fire from those 3 +3 attack Zerglings. More Ultralists are coming out onto the field. He might even want to get a Queen over here to do some healing with the, what do you call that? Transfusion. There we go. This game is very exciting here. There's one Zergling going to be taking on a Stalker in the center of the map. 3-2 upgrades for them. So those Zerglings will be able to take them out. 3-3 upgrades for the Zerglings. More Broodlords on the way. 2 more Ultralisks going to be coming out real soon. Protoss picking up his 6th base right now. So it's going to be a 6 base Protoss. Well, technically it's just 4 base mining, but 4 base Protoss is a very strong combination there. That we've got more Templar coming out, Immortals, more Zealots going to be joining the very, very cost-effective units there. Especially with the +3 upgrade, going to be doing tons of damage. Those Immortals as well, 65 damage versus armored, going to be able to smash through those Ultralisks very, very easily. +3 armor on the way for our Protoss player right now is going to be throwing down a couple of pylons over here, maybe get a couple of cannons at this expansion to prevent it from going down to any sort of drop play, or maybe even Niduses. We've got a Overseer now moving over here. We've got the Nidus network actually on the way right now. It's halfway complete. We'll see what he decides to do. Maybe Nidus into the Protoss main and take out all of his production structures and be able to go for a win. The gold base for Zerg is now dwindling, as well as his natural expansion. Going to be running out of minerals here first. Going to continue mining over here. So we've also got a 4-base Zerg. 2 overlords over here going to be moving, trying to get out a couple of baneling drops. Looks like Zayo has been paying attention, going to be able to get his army over here and take those broodlords, those banelings out. Imagine bane lords, that would be very, very extremely OP. We've got the Nidus network now loading up a couple of units. Oh, it looks like there's a Nidus network over here, going to be unloading and taking out a couple of these production structures. Looks like the pylon goes down, so that Zayo is not going to be able to reinforce us as easily. Ultralisk now working away on those buildings, going to be moving over here, trying to nibble away at all of these stalkers, but he will be able to blink back that Immortal, also dealing tons of damage. Also taking very little damage from those Ultralisks. These Zerglings taking out the Templar Archives, actually. Will be able to delay those Templars from coming out. Looks like there's another Nidus over here. Look at all of the action all over the map. However, this army has been able to take it out. This Nexus is not going to go down either. So that was actually a major loss in terms of HaypRO. Looking at it, is going to be behind in terms of that army count for a certain amount of time. He's got more Ultras on the way, more Broodlords, more Corruptors for those Ultralists. Flyer Carapace level 2 is also going to be coming out. 2 Stargates are going to be joining real soon. A couple of Templar are being left out of the battle over here. The +3 is finishing up, so we'll probably see Void Rays out on the map real soon. The double gas going down at the 6th base over here, so he will be able to get out more of those units over here. He's going to be killing off actually a bunch of his Zealots to free up some supply. 190 supply for our Zerg player. He's got those 2 Stargates out, more gateways going down, actually flooding it with gateways. We've got 2 Void Rays now on the way, as well as a +1 air weapons. Wow, rarely do we actually see that upgrade gotten, especially in the late game like this, but only if you are starting to transition into those massive Void Rays. We'll see how he does with those. Of course, Mass Void Ray is a very, very powerful unit. He's going to be mining out over here at his 3rd base. The gold base is also running a little bit dry, but he does have 7,000 minerals and 2,000 gas banked, so he'll be able to produce a lot of stuff. So we also have the shields +1 on the way, as well as 2 more Void Rays. A fleet beacon has just been thrown down. Let's see if we can find that fleet beacon. There it is, fleet beacon coming up for our Protoss player. He's got these stalkers sort of in the main to prevent any sort of additional nidusing. He's got these 2 stalkers patrolling over here as well. There's an overlord taking a dump over here as well. They're going to be finally taking control of the center watchtower for LiquidHayprO. A couple of Dark Templar trying to get warped in here to try to do some damage, but that is not going to happen. Zerg is starting to run dry on the minerals everywhere. He's mined out of the gold base, going to be transferring his drones over. Looks like the Broodlords are advancing forward. Does he have enough air to be able to defend against this? He's got 4 Void Rays. He's still not quite max. He's trying to get out additional, more powerful units. Here comes the Infestor. Is going to be throwing down the GAC on those Void Rays, going to be preventing them from moving anywhere. But there is no additional anti-air. He's going to have to be forced to use those Infested Terrans. The blink being used underneath the Broodlords. Looks like there's a huge battle. And Protoss is losing his entire ground army. The Ultralisk trying to get in there, trying to nibble away this army. More Void Rays is going to be joining over here. He's going to have to get out more units to be able to defend this. Those Broodlords are looking very, very strong. Those Broodlings will be able to do tons of damage, especially when using those upgrades. Looks like the Stalkers over here are going to be able to take out that one Ultralisk and start reinforcing over here. The Broodlords have nothing under them. It's sort of like having naked Colossi. The Void Ray is going to start charging up on these Broodlords, going to be taking them out one by one. Here comes the Blink Stalker, is going to be taking those out very easily. The Infestors moving forward as well, going to be throwing down some nice fungal growths, but all of those Broodlords are going to be going down right now. Just a couple of Broodlings left. Also 2 Changelings getting dropped on the ground as well. More Stalkers getting warped in right now as additional Void Ray is going to be joining the fight. The Stalker over here going to be taking down a Overseer, also an Overlord going to be going down over here as well. Neither player is actually max at this point. Zerg is starting to run dry everywhere. His natural is basically gone. This base is running out. He's only going to be on 2 bases real soon, so he's going to have to make something happen. Protoss is still on these 2 bases mining fully. He's not even to grab the gas over here yet. He needs to grab that gas so he can support the additional production. We've got a mothership in the production queue, as well as the Protoss air weapons +2. A couple of Void Rays are going to be moving in for some harassment over here. 2 carriers in the production queue as well, stopping the production of the Void Rays so he can get those up. Going to be charging up on this Nexus here. No, hatchery. But that Spore Crawler is going to be able to do some damage. Looks like a missed fungal growth as well. Haypro is going to be maxing out here once again. He's got the Infestors. He's got his Ultralisks. He's got more Zerglings. More Broodlords going to be advancing forward. A couple of drones coming in here trying to do some damage. Looks like they're not going to be able to take out this Nexus. Over here, Zayo is going to have to deal with these mass Broodlords over here. They are a little bit too close to that edge. He needs the Zerglings underneath them. Here come the Void Rays, going to be doing some massive damage over here. Here comes the Gak as well. Finally, the first Colossus out for Protoss. Going to be roasting those away right now. No Neuroparasite, actually. The Infestors all getting taken out over here. All of the Stalkers not even participating in this battle. There is no anti-air, so those Void Rays are going to be able to do tons of damage. Look at all of the low health. One more fungal growth, and this would have been over for all of those Void Rays. The Ultralisk is going to be backing the Stalkers into a corner, but will get taken out shortly. The Void Rays over here fully charged, going to be taking out a couple of Corruptors as well as the remainder of these Broodlords. Looks like Protoss has secured a definitive advantage. He's got carriers out, he's got Colossi, he's got his mothership somewhere. There it is, just spawning. +2 air weapons now, finishing up. The Zergling's going to be trying to advance forward. That Colossus count is starting to rise, going to be roasting away those Zerglings so easily. Looks like the Void Rays are coming forward again. More fungal growths onto them. Here comes the Infestors, going to try to do some additional damage, but it's just looking not quite enough. The carriers are going to be able to clean this up, even if the Infestors are going to be able to clean these Void Rays up. Down they go. The mothership is also going to be joining this battle. More Void Rays on the way. Look at that Protoss army. This is so strong. More Zealots are also going to be joining over here. You're going to be transferring some probes. This expansion did go down, but Protoss is a very strong advantage. This base is starting to run dry. This base only got 3 patches left. His natural only has 2 patches. He's just making Zerglings now. He doesn't have that much gas left as well. He's mining out of that gas, whereas the 2 extractors just completely depleted over here. Zayo is going to be moving his carrier fleet. He's got Archons. He's got Colossi, he's got carriers, he's got Void Rays, he's got a mothership. There's not much I can see Zerg actually going to be able to do to come back in this game. He does have Corruptors in the air, but those will get cleaned up by the Stalkers very easily, especially with the Archons and maybe even Templar joining in real soon. The Storms will take care of those Zerglings very easily. There's only 2 major hard-hitting ground units over here. Those are those 2 Ultralisks. Looks like a couple of Dark Templar in that mix over here. Going to be chewing away at that army. Where is Protoss's army right now? He's going to be moving over here. He's got the bulk of his hard-hitting units sitting over here. He's got 5 Colossi. That's going to be able to roast this army away so easily. And the carriers, the Void Ray is going to be able to take care of those Corruptors so easily. Here comes the last push from Protoss. Going to be advancing into the center. All of the Zerglings getting roasted and eaten alive. Here comes the Stalkers blinking into the battle. The Zerglings taking those out, but the carriers still stand. All of the Corruptors going down. Going to be retreating right now. That Ultralisk's days are numbered. Going to be running onto the creep. Going to get some speed bonus over there. Very few units left for Zerg. The mothership is still alive. The carriers advancing forward. Fungal growth going down, but it's just not quite enough. The Queen's even joining in on the fray. We've got 159 food for Protoss and only 122 for our Zerg player. Looks like the units killed very high for Protoss. Very cost efficient with this army. More Stalkers joining in right now. +2 flyer attacks is finishing up, but it's just not going to be enough. That Corruptor just sort of flying in and melting away. Zayo is going to be pushing up to this expansion over here, going to be able to take this out, take this base out. and there's not much that Zerg can actually do. There's 26 Zerglings on the way as well as 19 Banelings, but against this mass Colossi force with 3-3 upgrades and even one shield, plasma shield upgrade, as well as the mothership and the carriers, not going to be able to do too much, and the Archons also leading the charge. And here comes Zerg's last stand. There's that queen going down so quickly. This base is completely mined out. There's only 250 minerals left over here. Zerglings, the drone's going to be advancing over here. Looks like this base was actually killed off at some point. Did not notice that at all. Production queue is just completely blank for both players right now. Looks like Zayo knows that he has won this game, but Haypro has put up such a good fight. He's completely mined out his side of the map. The drone's over here doing some damage, actually. Looks like the two infestors also killing off a ton of probes. But his last hope, his Corruptor's getting killed off right now. The Stalker's advancing forward. GG calls Haypro. What an awesome game we saw. Basically every single unit from both tech trees, the Colossus over here, popping out at the last second to be able to clean up all of those Zerglings. We've got one Executor Colossus over here. We'll see how many kills did the mothership get. Only 4, but it does not matter. We've got Executor Archons on the ground as well. Oh, great job by Protoss. Also, a really good play coming out of Haypro. Probably could have used some of his units a little bit better, maybe made a few less Zerglings, but it just shows how strong all of these players are. We do look forward to seeing additional games, and if you do like what you see here, please do subscribe to my channel. Just click that little yellow button up top. Also, follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/AegisStarcraft. There is no 2 in that one because Aegis StarCraft was free. And there's also the APL. Be sure to check out our website at MockTechCorp.net. I'll have a link below, MockTechCorp.net/APL. Be sure to check that out and register your team very soon. And this is Aegis signing off.